Idziemy dalej. O, jakaś skrzyneczka. Fragment zwyczajnego spustu, fragment zwyczajnego uchwytu. A, 3 są potrzebne i 2 sprężyny. Okej. Darek, siemanko. Dobra, idziemy tam pogadać z tą babką w tym barze.
Evening, sir. Can I help you?
Kurczę,
I
ten
have a few
green screen.
questions for you.
Well, if you must.
Dychy. 40 zł.
What's going on around here? Where is everyone?
Too many dead, sir. First the epidemic, and now all these terrible murders.
The murders. What can you say about them?
Bodies found in the streets every morning. Drained of blood. It's just horrible. Some
Wampir na
say
tropie mordercy, dobra
sewer
co?
dog is back.
The sewer dog. What's that?
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed. But now he's
niebie, no.
killing in the streets.
What have you heard about the epidemic?
There's a Spanish flu. Yeah, killed so many last summer. Thought we'd seen the last of it. Dozens dying every week.
Are the authorities doing anything?
Nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, the Turquoise Turtle. I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
Are you always
Okay.
open this late at night?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
I just want to talk. I didn't mean to scare you.
Siema,
I'm not
Johnny.
afraid, sir. It's just I've other customers to take care of.
I only see one customer.
Oh. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I best check on them.
I spoke
to ja
to
też
Dr.
nie wiem,
Swansea.
Johnny.
He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I
William
thought he was going
Bishop.
to clock someone.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk, as usual. But my God, his eyes, his face. He must have caught something awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Why are you so afraid?
I mean, his skin.
No w porządku,
His
dzięki, a u
hands.
ciebie? Jak tam żona?
I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well, Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
Tom Watts, dostępna wskazówka. Okej. Wampiry nie mogą ewoluować bez ludzkiej krwi. Pasek jakości krwi pokazuje, ile punktów doświadczenia trzymasz, żerując na mieszkańcu. Odblokowane wskazówki zwiększają liczbę punktów doświadczenia. Okej. Zdrowy. Na jakość krwi mieszkańców w dużej mierze wpływa ich zdrowie oraz liczba wskazówek, które zbierzesz, nim wypijesz ich krew. No, gdzie są te wskazówki? A to? A to jest ten, co nas krzyżem zaatakował wczoraj. Zmęczony. Brak relacji, okej. A nie, to jest ten pijak. Ten tutaj co stoi.
You again. What can I do for you?
Wskazówki dotyczące mieszkańców. Jako wampir możesz zmusić mieszkańca do ujawnienia ci pewnych informacji. Wykorzystaj do tego znalezione wskazówki. Niebieska podpowiedź, okej.
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
Why lie to me if he is not your friend?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer, and that's the truth.
Who is he?
William, just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah, like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. Can barely stand up most of the time.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What'd you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
Zbadaj łódź. Okej.
Are they stupid?
Dobrze było się przebrać co innego, fajnie by było. Jakieś były inne ciuchy.
I will
z
get to the
plamą
bottom
krwi.
of this intrigue. What's been done to me? To this city? The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself. What's this? Some sort of note.
Okej, temat. Liczne zgony w regionie doków. Sądzimy, że jest w niej Zamieszana jakaś paskudna pijawka. Znajdźcie ją i szybko się jej pozbądźcie. Ostrożnie, według ostatnich doniesień do bardzo brutalnych wampirów.
These men, this corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker.
Pijawka, dobra.
There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Over there! Doesn't like
Okej. Siema, Karol. Okej. Niektórzy przeciwnicy są bardziej odporni na pewne rodzaje obrażeń. Istnieją 4 rodzaje typów odporności. Fizyczne, atak w zwarciu, atak dystansowy, na specjalne moce, krew, cień. Kolor pomarańczowy wskazuje na średnią odporność, czerwony na wysoką, okej. Ten jest na przykład na dystansowy odporny, dobra. Też.
over there! This monster!
Mogę zebrać, tak? Wybierz i wciśnij Y, żeby użyć broni dystansowej i zadać przeciwnikowi obrażenia standardowe oraz ogłuszyć go. Pamiętaj, że dysponujesz ograniczoną liczbą naboi. Fajnie jakby było jeszcze pokazane, ile masz tych naboi. 2 szylingi. MT, siemanko. A dobrze, dobrze, dziękuję.
This is not the place for
Jak
you,
tam u
sir.
ciebie? Okej. Lówka. Szczury i kryjówki. Szczury często kręcą się w pobliżu kryjówek. Odczuwanie wampirzymi zmysłami pozwoli ci je łatwiej zlokalizować.
I have this thirst for blood.
Kryjówka za kryjówką. Ja chyba nic nie mogę zrobić, nie mogę nic ulepszyć. A tutaj? O, ołowiana płytka razy 3. U mnie dzisiaj ciężko, ale ucieszyłem się, bo wyszedł zwiastun God of War Ragnarok. No, oglądałem wczoraj ten pokaz. Tak wygląda jak tamta gra, nie? Jak poprzednia tak naprawdę. Mam nadzieję, że fabularnie będzie dobrze zrobione. Praca w toku. Nie.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
Ale wygląda to dobrze. Ten God of War. Prawie jestem. To będzie z tego dobrego. Daj. Nie, no to kołkiem atakuje. Jak ja mam to zrobić? Tu zamienić to na tak? Pod X nic nie robi teraz. Bo tamta jest dwuręczna, ale to taka beznadziejna trochę, co? On tak macha. Dziwnie. Weź. Dobra, dawaj, spróbujemy.
This place reeks
Parowanie.
of bloodshed.
You're my last and dearest friend.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
Aha, okej. Spoko.
William was an honourable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my
Oh,
flock.
fuck.
They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by scowl?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You
Nie no,
are the
ja mam
woman from
wolne
the
jutro.
bar.
Karol do pracy.
Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
To ta, co gadała z tym gościem wczoraj. Z krzyżem potem chciał spalić.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders.
O, właśnie. Ten.
Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give
Oh,
me a
equipa
moment to
będzie.
secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
Wampirze drużyna.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me. This poor creature can't be my maker.
Próbka krwi. Okej.
Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Dobra, to gdzie? Tutaj chyba, tak? Na 5 godzin. No, na 5 godzin to szybko zleci.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a
Łódka na
bed for
parę.
poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
No, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's
Tylko,
most
Karol.
esteemed blood specialist
Tak, na telefonie
returns to
się
London a
spodziewam.
vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment
Fizyk
to
pracujący w
contemplate
szpitalu.
your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before.
Ale zjadłem swoją
contracting
siostrę.
this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Ja się chyba przełączę na tło i pogram póki mogę. Spoko, spoko.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country.
No to zawsze, Johnny, jak nie masz Game Passa, to może Game Passa
Very lucky to have gained a
4
surgeon of his
zł, nie dla
talent.
nowych
One
subskrybentów,
so experienced in blood
a
transfusions.
powracających.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Kto chce po Vampyrze ograć? Game Deck. 16 jest premiera, to
Here at
myślę,
Pembroke,
że
it's not what we have,
pogramy.
but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and
Już
the staff
kupiony
that
mam
our ship
dawno.
doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea,
Welcome
immediately.
aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
No, w końcu jakoś to wygląda. Dobra, wejdź do szpitala.
We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah, it's my turn!
O kurde.
Rotten autocracy. Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river. Try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please.
Game
You've
Deck
lost too
to
much
jest
blood.
cyberpunk
Calm yourself.
w świecie
You think I
cyberpunkowym.
didn't notice?
W XX
Stop your
chyba
staring and get me to an hospital, you
drugim
arse!
wieku jest się detektywem. Generalnie populacja ludzi żyje w wirtualnym świecie i zapomina o prawdziwym świecie właśnie. No i są jakieś tam różne przestępstwa, morderstwa i będzie trzeba je rozwikłać. RPG generalnie, gierka fajna. Co on powiedział?
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that
nie.
better place.
Chwilę tylko pograłem. Okej.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
O co ty gadasz, ty?
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fight me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Korek?
To taste a life. To embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden. Such a divine sin.
Ten chyba co przemienił go w wampira. On cały czas do głowy wchodzi, nie?
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
Byłem na kolacji.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Dzięki.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
No wiem, Johnny, że mogę. Jak się miewa pan
And
Hampton?
Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Okej,
What kind of man is Dr.
tak nie
Swansea?
zapamiętam.
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about
pierwszym
your
piętrze.
employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Dobra.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of
Ale
the
ta
job.
grafika
Don't
postaci
judge
nie
me,
jest
and I won't
jakaś
judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what
niewalająca,
you're
co?
talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Coś było?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Słabo słychać? Czekaj, może ja podniosę ten mikrofon, może tak będzie lepiej na pewno. No to ja nie mam tyle shillingów. To. Jeden napój i jeden shilling. Gwoździe. I co? 1 za 9? Zwariowali? Mar. Dobra, niech będzie. Buteleczka. Lepiej, no dobra, no to
Dr. Swansea is right.
Właśnie
This place
tak
seems
podejrzewałem, że
perfect
trochę
to
za nisko
conduct
ten
my
mikrofon
research.
jest.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're
Ale
going to
teraz
be
będzie
colleagues.
gadka z każdym.
Reed, yes, I've been
Taka
informed
puka.
about your arrival.
Chcę
I'm
iść tam,
Waverly Ackroyd.
zjadać
Welcome
ludzi.
aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Dyletantów ty mów o sobie.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Okej, dostępna wskazówka. Odkażony. Dobra.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Dobra, to chyba wszystko, co?
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Boże, 3 osoby tu są.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced
Jeden
it's
jest
the future.
sceptyczny, drugi jest fanem.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory.
Zahipnotyzował go.
That's true.
With the influenza
Nie?
and all
Tak jakby
this
go
going on, you
zahipnotyzował
should put your differences aside, don't
tą
you think?
wskazówką.
Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that
Się
this
dziwię.
epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, don't worry. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering
Ta,
from a severe
jęki w tle.
injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father. ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Okej. Hervey Fidik.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
No to jest to.
Thank you, nurse.
Całe szczęście.
My sweet girl.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
O kurczę.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Ellen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Dobra, jakoś na górę trzeba iść.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's
Nie
not
chcę gadać
just
po
your
prostu.
throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm alright.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need
Nie,
any
to
help.
nie.
Don't waste your time with me.
O Boże.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say.
Jakby tak lekarze wypytywali rodzinę pacjenta, proszę mi powiedzieć coś o sobie. Jesteś aż tak bogata? Co porabiasz na co dzień? Później się zajmę twoim synem.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice. Considering the state of emergency.
Niektóre pytania
Is
są
there
takie
something
głupie.
in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
O, Pipa Hawkins. Ach, to Pipa. Kazała ci zapłacić?
For a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
To już wszystko, tak?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
My sweet girl.
Good evening, sir.
Reads me like a book.
Gdzie jest Pipa? To kto? Jest i Pipa.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Nie, ta gra jest
Dr.
z
Swansea
2018
is
chyba.
my position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients.
Taka
You're
przegadana
running
trochę
out of
tutaj,
everything.
w tym szpitalu. Weź się w garść.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, nurse.
Taka gadka szmatka, no dużo
In
dialogów
medicine,
takich niepotrzebnych.
sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Ona
How
też
is
to
the
widzi.
Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation,
Ej, ona
whether
się
he
patrzyła na
deserved
mnie.
it or not.
Tak prosto w kamerę. Milton Hawkins. Okej. A, to ten. Jakość krwi jest słaba. A mamuśki pewnie dobra, co?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
A, to jest tamten ogród. To nie, to idziemy na górę najpierw. W lewo chyba było, tak? Na pierwszym piętrze. Swansea. Tutaj.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes.
No, całkiem spoko.
Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own.
I też mam
At least
stół.
I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Okej. Serum. To trzeba zbierać wszystko,
Blood is
tak?
much more
Po kolei.
unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
Artykuł dotyczący ekonów. No dobra, nie będę tego czytał.
I have so much time.
O, szklana fiolka razy 10, pog.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Skąd ja wezmę wodę, ty? Sprężyn nie mam. A to? Ołowiany pręt. Dobra, spoko. A co tu jeszcze mamy? Zegarek. I szklana fiolka. Buteleczka. Mogę przetworzyć na to. Przetwarzamy. A to był ten zegarek, co? To był ten jego zegarek. Potem znaleźliśmy u tego złodzieja. Nie wiem, czy to będzie miało jakiś związek później, czy nie. Wiadomość od dr Swansea. Szczegóły, no dobra, nie będę tego czytał, ty. Mamy klucz. Idziemy spać, ale to za chwilę. Przerwę zrobię. Muszę do toalety. Chwila, widzowie, zaraz będę. Pauza się wcisnęła? Dobra. Miałem odpocząć w łóżku. O, 1200. Autofagia. Krzepliwość. Zatrzymasz krew płynącą w żyłach wybranego przeciwnika, czyniąc go bezbronnym. Bariera krwi. Czas trwania 5 sekund. Kiedy stworzona przez ciebie bariera zniknie, nastąpi eksplozja dezorientująca przeciwnika. No spoko. Może być. Zwiększa obrażenia zadawane podczas ugryzienia. Dobra. Może być. Nie mogę. Wytrzymałość tutaj. Ja chyba teraz tą umiejętność muszę sobie tam wrzucić jakoś. Co to? Ważne wydarzenia w dzielnicy. Każdej nocy konsekwencje twoich czynów mogą pozytywnie lub negatywnie wpłynąć na status zdrowia dzielnicy. Status może spadać również w związku z rozprzestrzeniającymi się wśród mieszkańców chorobami. To spadło 5%, tak? Im więcej ludzi pozbawisz życia, tym niższy będzie status zdrowia dzielnicy. Jeśli status zdrowia dzielnicy spadnie poniżej krytycznego poziomu, zapanuje w niej chaos. To ty decydujesz o losie dzielnicy. O, fuck. A, bo zabiłem tam jednego, no tak.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
I don't want to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry, there's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Ho, co to? Piła. Come on. Uwagi, teraz pacjenta uległa, twarz pacjenta uległa głębokim poparzeniom. Thomas Edward. Dobra, to nie jest ogród, gdzie to było?
It never ceases to amaze me how the dead
lost at the same time.
It's locked. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now,
Rakesh.
I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this mall.
Ubrany jak
What do you
lekarz.
mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Okej, czyli on też będzie miał coś na sprzedaż. Twoje życie w Londynie. Nie
Are
lękasz
you
się śmierci?
afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many
Znowu się zaczyna.
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Okej.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Na pewno.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
2 tygodnie? No... 2 tygodnie, 2 dni. Kto tu handluje?
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Jakie ma źrenice, co? Okej.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
No może to się zmieni potem.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is
Mam
the
nadzieję, bo
pain
chciałbym
my
pograć
death will inflict to those I
bardziej.
know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chadana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish
biegać,
man,
pozabijać,
but I like to
pozbierać.
think otherwise.
No dawaj.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never
Dziwna ta
die,
rozmowa z nim.
goodness, I
Jakby
would
coś
be
ukrywał.
bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really.
Drobiazgi,
But I'm
świecidełka.
sure they can be
No ja nie mam
useful.
hajsu. Enigmatyczna receptura. Opium. Kodeina. Nie wiem, może jakiemuś pacjentowi tam się przyda. Gdzie ten ogród jest cholerny? Tam chyba nie. No, ogród na dziedzińcu. Nie kasłać publicznie.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Yeah.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Sweet girl. Reads me like
This
a book.
hospital seems to be falling apart.
Never could keep anything
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
I wonder what your last thoughts were.
Nie wiem, to nie wygląda na ogród, nie?
I cannot enter.
Okej. No mogę ich zabić, tak? Mogę wypić z nich krew chyba. Tamtych, tego Hopkinsa i tak dalej. No dobra. Znajdę ten ogród dzisiaj? A co ten śmietnik się świeci? O. To tam też coś widziałem. Nie wiem, co to za dom. O,
It's
zamknięte.
locked, all right.
Alright, alright. O, zegarek i szylingi. Dobra, no musimy iść gdzieś w tamtą stronę, tak. Tam? Krąży w kółko. To gdzie to jest? Na terenie szpitala w końcu?
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate.
No
If they
dobra.
were to find somebody,
A gdzie jest ogród? Chyba tu. Ale mnie siurnął. Fuck. Okej. Mogło być lepiej. Znajdź w ogrodzie zgubiony portfel. Nie da się? Okej, można tylko tutaj podejrzeć, tak jakby, tak? To jest góra, po prostu tu nic nie ma. No dobra. Okej, jest i portfel.
Mr. Hook.
Zdjęcie uśmiechniętej zakochanej pary opisane na odwrocie słowami Milton i Pipa na zawsze razem. O proszę, proszę, Milton z Pipą.
And Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Dobra, ale ja chciałem najpierw pogadać tam z kimś. Dobra, to jest góra. Idziemy do niego. O, nie ma go. A to kto?
Yes, Doctor?
O.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
I poważnie, kiedyś
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Gdzie on może być?
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me... My sweet girl.
Armia potrzebuje pielęgniarek. O, tam jest.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what?
My girl.
Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
40 szylingów.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
A jeszcze mogę
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening,
śrubkę
Doctor.
kupić.
Still trying to save lives?
Gdzieś nie, śrubkę ten znajdę. W śmieciach. Dobra, i teraz tam pod Y. Gdzie to było? Poszukaj w starej kostnicy użytecznych substancji medycznych. Znajdź winian żelaza, chininę, podchloryn sodu. Okej. Budujemy napięcie. Jeden jest na dole, drugi jest na górze, tak? Dwa są na górze, jeden jest na dole.
It's locked.
O kurde.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Okej, chinina.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Dobra, mamy klucz do piwnicy. Butelka alkoholu. Super.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
A zobaczmy z ciekawości, co tu jest. Odżywcza krew. O kurwa, ale się przestraszyłem. Ja pierdolę, masakra. O fuck. Nie wierzę, ty. Gdzie on jest? Tam gdzieś poszedł. Albo na dół. Na dół na pewno. To jest jakiś taki lepszy. Ten wampir chyba.
These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
To jeszcze gdzieś drugi jest. Dobra. Tu nic nie ma. O fuck. Nie ma tu nic? Lokalne śledztwa. Dostępne jest nowe lokalne śledztwa, aby otworzyć menu lokalnych śledztw wybierz śledztwa dotyczące mieszkańców. W tym miejscu wyświetlane są śledztwa dotyczące mieszkańców. Zostały podzielone według dzielnic. Aby śledzić nową misję mieszkańca, wybierz X, a następnie wejdź w mapę, by odszukać obszar śledztwa. Okay. Udaj się do apteki. Dobra.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Nie, tam chyba muszę iść. Kurwa, niech to wcisnę. No kurczę, przecież robiłem unik. Drzwi się zamknęły. John Doe. Nosferatu. Taki żart jest. O kurczę, ale mi zjadł. Zabił mnie, no. Aha, tu jestem, dobra. Kurwa, nie mogłem nic zrobić przez tą wytrzymałość. No nie wierzę, ile energii już straciłem. No ugryź go! Kurwa, no nie gryzie go, no. To ma... Co to ma być za oszustwo? Zabije mnie zaraz, nie? Prawie życia nie mam.
It's locked.
O,
The chest was originally opened to perform the operation.
nie robiłem tego wcześniej.
The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Oho. Kurwa, znowu te drzwi tu się zamknęły. Po co ten stół tutaj jest?
These skulls can be so ferocious.
Kurczę.
I'm not sure I can
Niezła
defeat them
bitka.
without becoming stronger.
Dobra walka.
To drink blood is so tempting.
Stwórz środek na zmęczenie. Udaj się do apteki. Gdzie teraz? Widzę, jeszcze nie koniec przygód. Kurwa! No nie wierzę w to, no. Mogłem stąd iść, kurwa. Ja pierdolę! Kurwa nie! No nie wierzę. Boże. Co? No, myślałem to. Nie wiem, tutaj chyba muszę iść, nie? Na górze. To mam zrobić, tak? Nie, środek na zmęczenie. A, zajebiście, zużyłem. Roztwór podchlorynu sodu zużyłem. Muszę się chyba wrócić do tej kostnicy tam, z powrotem. Nie wierzę w to. Dobra. Gdzie to się zapisało? Ciekawe. Jak tam, Karol, śpisz? Mam nadzieję, że się zapisało, jak wychodzę z tej kostnicy. Nie. A może jak tu wchodzę? Nie. Co ja mam teraz, kurczę, zrobić? Poważnie, muszę tam się wracać? Nie chce mi się. Ja nawet nie wiem, gdzie ta kostnica jest teraz.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Step out.
An H! An H!
O cholera. Co to tam, jakiś snajper był czy coś? Dobra, wiecie, chyba sobie skończymy tutaj, kurde, ja też jestem zmęczony. Karol chyba śpi. Śpisz, Karol? Chłopie. Może on będzie miał.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
O, ma. Bez kitu. Po co komu apteka, jak jest ten gość, ty? Kurwa, gdzie ta recepcja jest? Ja pierdolę.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Choroby obniżają jakość krwi mieszkańca. Użyj odpowiedniego lekarstwa, aby ich wyleczyć. Porozmawiaj z pacjentem, który zajmuje pokój za Dorothy, aby sprawdzić jego stan zdrowia. Okay.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Okej. Dobra, pójdę jeszcze na górę. Co mam go zjeść teraz? Zaufał mi to. Zaufał mi i teraz miałbym go zjeść. Jakie oczy. Okej. Dobra, to robaczki, trzymajcie się. Trzymaj się, Karol, trzymajcie się, reszta. Wyjdź.